expensive market for trendy, fabulous and popular branded clothing for teenagers. Teenagers would like to wear hoodies, jumpers, jeans, track pants. I will allow teenagers to wear many different styles. I'm seeking $250 as startup funding, asking them to write their parents' contact details just for their extra security. So I would be doing a huge amount of marketing for my peers.
Farrah Gardens is an ornamental shelf set that has the option to hang from the ceiling or on the wall. One, it has a piece of art on the back and storage is front. The bottom shelf has a little compartment to hide the furulence. They would go from $69.99 to $80. The giraffes and elephants, they just kind of stared at me. I'm seeking $250 for a startup cost for my business.
My concern is the number of hours you'd have to be out selling them.
I would think about making pamphlets, and to sell them I would go to the local farmers market. I prefer one-on-one contact.
Okay.
I use a saw to cut in between the beams. I would think about making like limited edition shelves.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I know of homes that have that in as a tool section.
My business idea would be to swap the Prep Lock vending machine for mine, as I would give 10% back to the Prep Lock and 10% to charity. I would have to take out a $1,500 to $2,000 loan. Pringles, Sprite no sugar, muesli bars, popcorn. Lots of my friends like buying sweet food. I would be seeking $250 to pay for the first round of snacks.
So you're thinking that your 10% would be better than what is currently there?
What is it that you will have in the machines that will sell better than what's in the machines now?
I would sell like nicer food because some of the food isn't like as appealing.
Do you have a positioning about wanting to have a healthier mix?
Have you allowed for those costs in so the money that you're saying that you will make for yourself?
What about whether the school will allow you to have a machine here and have these products in the school?
Weather creates 3-in-1 lounge chairs for children aged 2 to 6 years, a relaxed chair, a lounge chair and a normal sitting chair.
We have also created room in our design for 2 extra low stools and a table for added seating, perfect for teddy bear picnics and car racing. Through our survey, we found that people are willing to buy our product, but we're not willing to pay over $450 for it. We have partnered with Living Wood, a Hamilton-based company, who have agreed to cut, package and distribute our design. All the other chairs on the market, if they were all sold separately, they would cost around $365.80.
Good question. I mean, how robust are those table chairs? I mean, they feel solid?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do actually. So what inspired why the 3 elements of 3 chairs? What gave you that idea?
Our little sister wanted to have a makeup chair,
Okay.
And she's very indecisive, so one minute she wants a sun lounger and then she wants a normal chair, so it comes to the point where Mum has heaps of different chairs in her bedroom. Then you flip it over.
Oh, you got it right down.
Oh,
Yeah.
For a relaxed chair. So we want to start advertising through Facebook and Instagram,
Okay.
main online platforms. Our risks, we haven't applied for a patent yet, so other companies can steal our ideas. Mm-hmm. We are seeking $250 for startup funding and online advertising.
I think your financial plan is really well thought through. Well done for that.
Yes,
I really compliment you on your plans.
We are here today to pitch our business idea, Aslan. Aslan is a fashion label that is based around the ages 12 to 15. We saw this as an opportunity for our business because Aslan as a fashion label will be focusing on making high quality clothes. We will also be focusing on making it perfectly in between the too big, too small, too showy or not showy enough range.
Would you wear this, or question stickers asking what changes would you like to make, or how could we make this better? As we buy more of the product, the price will go down and make it cheaper for the customers to buy. At the moment we cannot afford to buy in bulk, but
looking into finding a factory in China to produce our clothes for a cheaper price.
It's a really interesting kind of positioning you've landed on. How do you know about too small, too big, too showy or not showy enough? What's your sort of market research, apart from your own individual experience, which I'm sure you've had, but what have you learnt from the market and your peers about this problem?
And stepping out of that box and saying that you can be who you are and you can still look good in clothes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice. Who did the design for you?
We designed it ourselves.
So do you see yourselves as designers? What's your sort of, what's the heart in this for you? Is it about making money? Is it about being a designer?
For me, definitely being a designer. I've dreamed about doing this since
A lot of people at the school, because it is St. Peter's, are quite famous on social media, and we were going to go around and ask if maybe they want to try Aslan on.
Do you think she might need to cut the profits though?
Yeah, that's
Do you think she might have a marketing strategy? She might want to be in on this too.
Love the research, okay, because that's the way you can get some really good feedback as far as what your peers say is good to wear and not wear, okay, and they're doing it in their own time, so that's fantastic.
So you mentioned in your financials that the hoodie cost you $65 to make, but you just mentioned you might sell them at $45 to $50.
Yeah, that is because when we have enough money, we've looked at all of if you can buy let's say 15 for $50 each.
I'm not sure it's completely here yet. I think you've got half an idea, which is a good start, but probably needs a little bit more thought, particularly in the competitive space.
Our idea is to create a clothing brand called Ripper. Our brand will create affordable, high quality and trendy clothing that will be sold on our online website.
When we walk into a clothing store, our needs are just not fulfilled, and we know that we're not the only ones feeling this way.
We created a survey and asked around 30 girls what they thought was missing in the clothing industry. With our results, we found 3 key flaws that needed to be improved. These were size range, price range, and unique clothing.
Colours.
Some colours that we offer.
Yeah. It's quite a lot.
And then these you want it's how stretchy you want the material.
Yeah, so we've got
Where's your target market?
just all around the world.
Yeah.
We'll obviously start in New Zealand because that will be closest to us.
We have a contact in China from a family friend who also has a clothing brand.
So why are people going to buy from you? What's going to make you different from everybody else?
Because since obviously we're teenagers, we kind of know a lot.
And how will you get your designs to the manufacturer and back again? What's the process involved there?
So we have got numbers from factories in China that we'll be calling and emailing just to get samples backwards and forwards so we can, produce them. We already had a look at that, and it would be $50 for a sweatshirt, and then I think it was $40 for a t-shirt.
And I know what you're selling them for, but I just can't see what your outlay is to get them to that particular point where you can collect that money for those items. So what's your cost to have a pair of jeans for sale?
And once you buy it in a bulk of how much, it will go down so that we will be making a profit.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to that again. So you've got t-shirts here for sale at $25.
Yep.
Your buy price is how much?
$40.
So can you see I got a different way?
On that point, you just want to make sure you're making money along the way. And probably the only advice would be never lose money, not even on the first one, because it's so hard then to catch up again. And it's probably a test about whether the business can be real. Scale is a fabulous thing, but you've got to get to scale. You've got to survive to become big. And I was really impressed that you had a goal and a mission. Actually, that was one of the things that really stood out in your submission, and I thought that was really good that you know what it is you want.
My idea is to create a website where people can go on and sell their old school uniforms and sports equipment for an affordable price. Many parents are not able to afford brand new or good quality school uniforms as they are very expensive. Number 2, there is not a single avenue out on the market for this yet. You would have to go to school uniform shops, school garage sales, or school Facebook pages if you were going to find anything there. There are over 2,500 schools in New Zealand, and if I assume that 70% of these schools have school uniforms, that is over 1,700 school uniforms that could potentially be sold on my website. The way I'm making my money is through a commission. So I would need the $250 in startup funding to advertise my business.
Or what is it that you think will make you unique? Is it the charity aspect?
Yeah, it is, as well as the fact that it's specifically for school uniforms, so it would be much easier to use than having to look through.
And I think you've got a really nice start of an idea.
Yeah, well done, Jenny. I really like the start of the brand that I see on the front of this information I have. What's the incentive in it for them to be able to put up your posters and perhaps share it in their newsletters and advertise it to their parents, that your website's the place to go to trade?
They could have put their stuff on there, and then they would also earn the money through that, so they could sell their stuff throughout the website instead of having it in a complicated way.
I'm guessing that somewhere along the line you've had discussions with your mum about buying school clothes, and this is where the idea came from.
Yeah.
And you don't like hearing them talk about the prices.
Yeah, because they also said that there was a big part of my birthday present. So.
Well, I can see some benefits for schools getting behind it.
Absolutely. Yeah. What I really like, Jenny, is the fact that you've built yourself a business where you don't have to handle the goods.
That's right.
You don't have to. You can literally run it from your computer, and everybody else is doing all the work for you. I think that's very, very smart. Yeah. So well done.
Yes. You can go on holiday and come back and see all the money you make.
I thought that your 75 cents per item was very generous of you to take so little, given what you might be selling some of these things for.
Yeah.
So you probably just want to work that through a little bit in terms of making sure you can cover your costs, run your website, pay for the development, and give yourself a little bit of money as well.
Yeah.
That you're doing it, and I think it's so well named, Good as New. And this idea of good and doing good and social good as well as good, it's a really powerful idea. And I really like the fact that you're motivated.
We are pitching you our idea of a sustainable clothing brand called Offshore.
When we heard about Dragon's Den, we thought it would be an amazing opportunity to overcome a problem and of course to earn money.
The problem we identified was how much waste materials is produced from fabric stores.
From our research, we found that more than 15% of perfectly good fabric ends up going to waste.
We plan to do this by gathering scrap for unneeded fabrics and creating patchwork clothing.
We are seeking $250 in startup funding, which will be used to purchase sewing supplies such as thread and machine accessories.
The tops will be priced at $20 to $25 and the hats will be $10 to $15, all depending on the styles people choose.
We will make a big profit because all our fabrics are cost-free as they are donated. This keeps our costs to a minimum.
And is there a big fabric industry in New Zealand, like where there's lots of sewing and there's lots of offcuts available?
Yeah.
Especially curtains, that's where...
But you did research, but was there like credentials that you could use and say what XYZ Inc. said that this is how much
And the price that we have put is the price that people have said that they would be willing to pay.
The cost in between is really the cost for you to sew it.
Yeah.
And who's going to do the sewing?
Both of us.
Yeah. So you guys are going to do it together.
Yeah.
Have you worked on a depreciation on your machines? Like how long, what's the life of your machine going to be before you have to start replacing parts and things like that?
Well, my one's fairly new.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them are quite new, so it'll be...
Who do you have in mind? Who's going to be interested in these products, do you think?
Well, we were thinking of people from maybe our age and maybe like from year 7 to like maybe 20s.
Some people have been really liking like the bandana shaped tops.
Yes.
And so we thought we could do that as well with some of the fabric.
Are they really interested in the fact that this is recycled and this would otherwise be thrown away? Would that be a really important value?
I think.
Okay. The benefit here that you have over the others, from what I can see, is that you've got the hands-on. You're the executives, you're the machinists, you're the product suppliers, the marketers. So you're small enough right now to actually do quite well out of this.
Perspective. Obviously we've got goods to sell and you've got the idea and the basis of where all the materials and things come from. How is that message going to get through to the
curtain shop could promote your so you buy some curtains, and by the way, do you know that you can buy some hats out of this?
My business, Deca Rico, is trying to give you a piece of your own nostalgia. There's been a revival in vinyl. My product is a single 45 RPM record with a personalized picture label, one for myself. I'm selling the record at $20 each. It cost me $13.90 to make, accounting for $10 worth of labor. So that means $6.10 profit. Once I'm online, I'll add more functional products like heat-shaped bowls, lampshades, clocks, drink coasters, all made from vinyl records. I think this idea will be good because nostalgia is a big selling point.
So who are you wanting to sell these to?
Yeah, who's
going to?
Well, my target market is like people like my dad who would like these kind of products because he and I fell in love with records. Some of them really like the idea, as the one waving behind me. And also there's another trend using a glass plaque with like a Spotify sort of setup, like format, with the album cover instead of the normal album cover is a personal photo.
Cheaper than what other people are doing?
Yeah, cheaper and local because like I'm planning on doing lots of like face-to-face sales with like people I know-ish and online. You can buy it for yourself, but I think buying it as a gift for maybe with a photo of maybe your wedding photo or a photo of a happy time would be like
what people buying is not the concept of the music, but the nostalgia behind the photograph and the record. Is that?
So how will you guarantee that you'll have supply?
Well, I have some shipping in now. It's it's from like. Yeah, so I've got some like shipping in now.
Well, anyway, I think you're doing well. You know, I think that concept. I probably want to look for the value added rather than just that.
Yes,
that's what
I was thinking. My goal is to sell a cake box that has all the ingredients and equipment you need to make a cake, and I'd have two different boxes, cake and cupcakes. You can choose from having the cake mix in your box, or you can choose from having the pre-made cake. There isn't anything else like it in the market. The closest thing is my food bag, which doesn't offer a sweet option. Lots of parents and families are super busy, and when you need a cake for a special occasion, you don't always have time to make a cake. So this gives you all the ingredients and the instructions, and if you are super busy, you can get the cake pre-made and you can just have the joy of decorating it and making the cake yourself.
Well, so I'd get a box and either have all the ingredients.
Yeah, you get a box and inside there would be a cake board, a piping bag, piping tips, icing. If you wanted, I've got 2 boxes, cupcakes and cakes. If you got a cake, get a spatula and like any lollies that would go on top. It would include a manual and a video just to show you how to make it, because a video would be a lot helpful because not everyone, so you can visually see what you're getting. For the cupcakes, I feel like these might be slightly more popular. They'd be really good for kids' birthdays, and I'd have the icing already in the piping bag in like lots of different colours, so then you could just give it to your little kids, or if you have a fundraiser tomorrow and you don't feel like making cupcakes, you can just put on the icing and it's a way to go. And if you ordered the cake mix, you could also change some ingredients if you wanted, like the butter, you could change it for applesauce or coconut oil if you wanted like a healthier option or you're allergic to certain products.
So you did some market research.
Yes.
Already.
I feel like it'd be a little bit more targeted to the older generation, but I have had a lot of positive feedback from our generation, from things like people having to make cakes for learning group or for school or for their birthdays or for literally any.
How will you guarantee if you're sending in a cooked cake and or cooked cupcakes and the icing, the quality? How will you guarantee the freshness and the quality moving forward to get that to the customer?
I'd have all the boxes pre-made with all the equipment in it, and the only things that I'd need to assemble when someone would order one would be the flour and the sugar and things like that, the little mixes. And the pre-made cakes, I would make them the day before, and then I'd give them to them, so that'd only be like a day old. And if they needed it urgently, and I could make them in the morning and they could maybe have them by the afternoon. Do that. I have been talking with Alison Gofton about some of the things about my business, and I do kind of semi-own a cake business where like teachers and family will come and ask me to make a cake, and I'll make a cake for them, and just like the full cake decorated and everything, and they'll buy that. The selling price we're thinking around $35.
But you might want to challenge yourself around what needs to go in the box, which adds cost, which may or may not be valuable. I think it's really nice, the piping bag and the spatula. And there was an element of really creativity there. This was something he really believed.
Yes, no, I would agree with you there. I think he thought through the idea a little better. Definitely obviously gave him higher points on the prototype and the fact that he had developed something.
Yes.
Certainly had the idea of it was good, I thought. What I liked about him was his financials and the prototyping.
Shall I make a mark on here as to who we're...
Yeah, if you like.
Thank you, yes.
But I would...
That was relatively easy compared to what's to coming.
There was less there than what we had later on in the piece.
I still do like her idea, I must say. I think there's something in it. Is it as well developed as the others? Perhaps not.
I'm guessing his character's good, you know, because that comes across as honest and trustworthy as well, you know.
Certainly, I just didn't feel that the other aspects stood up as well as some of the other ideas. But I agree, I thought his pitch was very, very good.
I haven't, looking at my scores, there's no other clear ones to knock out right away.
No, not from me. I hear you, because the actual fact, if they were to go back and revisit that,
they could have something fabulous.
They actually have got something fabulous.
They have got something
but
fabulous.
It's not. I don't think it's the clothing. She was able to present herself. She went where I thought most people, actually the rest of them, feared to go. Perspective alone, that makes her almost an executive.
Yes.
You know.
She stood out from that level.
Yeah, from that level, and the confidence level that came out while she was presenting was there. It was strong.
I actually really liked her idea.
The idea is good.
I really, whether she pushed that as far as it could go, I don't know.
I just don't know if they're quite there with that quality aspect to it.
Maybe just not quite as advanced as some of the others yet.
They are three very different ideas. That's great.
They are.
The people who are going to become successful are the people who are working at night, who are up first thing in the morning, who are, you know, really putting that effort in. So you've learned a really important early lesson about what it takes to be successful. So just because you don't walk away with one of the prizes tonight doesn't mean to say it's a bad idea that you go home and fold your cards, kick your toys and say, I'm never going to get involved in Dragon's Den or business ever again.
We were all really blown away by the calibre and the quality that you presented today, is the importance of the brand story, the idea and the value that goes behind the brand, and how you bring along your following and your customers with you.
So super impressed with all of you. Great job. You should take a lot of confidence out of this to try to incorporate different elements into the benefit of it. The better ideas always have more than one thing going for them. Don't stop learning with your ideas, don't stop learning with your businesses, don't stop learning in your lives.
The ideas I saw today were impressive. My first business ideas happened in this school. One of the key things I want to say is we've got to bring back manufacturing to New Zealand.
Melissa, we'll start with you.
Fabulous. Well, I have the lucky envelope that is addressed to Weta. Well done. Well done. Much better.
Okay, this goes to Good as New. Well done. We really liked your idea.
One I got is a piece of cake.
We wanted to just acknowledge some of the junior participants, and this young man put a lot of work into his entry and is a deserved winner. I have the honour of presenting the final prize to the founder of Safari Garden. Congratulations.